We started making names right away, and I loved it. I was robbing drug dealers and taking their gold right off their neck, and the shit we did, who's gonna call the police on you? A drug dealer?
I can identify with anything that was normal, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
99% of the time, you're gonna disagree.
Just like the Donnie Brasco situation with Lefty.
Yeah, because the reason why they figure it this way. You brought this guy around, he ratted on everybody, now he ratted on you. You might turn around and join him and rat on us, so we get rid of you, there's no connection between there and there, and they get rid of you.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got a special guest joining me. Keri Van Diver. What's up, Keri?
What's up, Bill? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great.
I'm hanging in there.
Absolutely great. Maybe not for this guy today, but I'm doing great. We're gonna go over this case and the craziness that involves this guy, and it's insane. Like if it wasn't like a real story, I wouldn't even believe it if someone told me.
Right. I know. Something out of like a book, right?
Yeah, like some fiction, like some fake
Maybe
shit.
something Ken Croak would write,
Yeah. Sounds about right, Ken Croak.
Speaking of which, I need your help with something, Bill. So somebody commented on my TikTok saying that Gangland Undercover covered Ken Croak's part of his ATF infiltration, episode 18. Mind you, I have never seen this show at all. So I don't know. I couldn't find it. So maybe if you could find it and let me know. If anybody out there watches the show and has heard of this episode 18, please let me know.
Do you want to explain to the people who Ken Croak is and who you are?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm Keri Van Diver. I'm the daughter of Hogman, who passed away, unfortunately, after doing a 12-year bid. 93 days later, after coming home, he passed away. And the ATF agent who, the ATF agent that infiltrated the club wrote a book and had it published by Dave Wedge. So yeah, there's that.
That's Ken Croak with his clean ass hands, and he infiltrated.
Yeah, there he is.
Pagans. He infiltrated the Pagans MC, and a bunch of people went to prison, and
including my dad. Yeah.
So, try to break it down for the people. I was on TikTok looking for guests, and I came across your page. I had you on as a guest. Some weeks went by. Boom! This dude pops up. This guy, right? Hold on, let me get a picture.
Daniel Hubin.
Daniel Hubin. He's from New Jersey.
He is from Chesterfield, New Jersey.
He became a pagan. People were saying he did not go through the probationary period. I don't know what that was all about. Matter of fact,
it's like being a process, yeah.
Yeah, so I have
I'm not
the
sure
video.
about all that, but I do, from the articles that I've read today, he was supposedly sergeant of arms in New Jersey. So I can't see how he would be a high-ranking member without having to go through the protocol, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah. It's just crazy, like all the facts that go with this case, if they are facts for what we know.
Right, because a lot of it is speculation, a lot of it is rumor. Nobody really knows for sure what's exactly going on. It's just so convenient how, I'm making my content, and then weeks later, this guy arises on TikTok with a content, but I'm a civilian. He was an actually patched in member, you know. So it's just convenient for him to disappear. You know, there's some speculation that it's, whatchamacallit, fake, that it's not real, that it's witness protection. So
Some people
who really
are saying
knows?
that. So what happened
Yeah.
is this guy was a member of the Pagans MC. He ended up getting out of the club. He was no longer affiliated with the club. He joined
Which
the
nobody
Dirty
really
Ones.
knows why either. He could have gotten kicked out. He could have done something that violated the rules and they give him a pass. Nobody really knows his relationship, you know, in that aspect. But and today it's crazy because it kind of confirmed it for me. Somebody had said that when he did switch, right after he did that interview, he got kicked out of the Dirty Ones.
The next day.
So the next day he got kicked out of the Dirty Ones, and then because let's even talk about mob. Let's even talk about the mafia for a second here. I mean, back in the day, there was no social media to go on to and talk, and platforms to sit there and talk, and you just knew that you shouldn't, you know. And it's just weird. It's like so weird how. I mean, look at Sammy. I mean, we talk about Sammy all the time, and Sammy has a fucking podcast. Are you kidding?
Sammy's a loser. Sammy will always be a loser. He will always never have integrity, and the people that follow him are losers too. I mean, it takes all kinds of
They're
the world
sheeple.
go around.
They are sheeple. But with Daniel Hubin here, he has a few AKAs. Let me start. One of them are Daniel Black, AKA Jerzey, AKA White Boy at Baymore. So, no, Bayon. Sorry, Bayon. And those are some of his AKAs there. And he definitely was on there with Marco. Shout out to Marco. He also has quite the record. So a lot of drug history, a lot of things in that aspect. And then his house was raided June 29th, 2020, and had 33 grams of cocaine. A Glock and other firearms were confiscated from the raid. So
how
he's
he was
known
out on parole. He was out on parole and he moved to another state. How is that possible?
The only thing I could think of is that he's cooperating, which is another reason why it could be the rumor and speculation that he is under witness protection. And it would only make sense because that's unheard of. Somebody like me making a content speaking for my dad is one thing. You know, I'm speaking about my experience with being a daughter of a motorcycle, not even a pagan, just a motorcycle guy. You know, it's a different kind of lifestyle. Yeah. Not talking about club history. I mean, not talking about club business or anything like that. And then you have this actual patched in member who goes on TikTok and creates a content and starts speaking on brotherhood and what it should be and what it isn't, and how the club had part and no part in being brotherhood. And then one of the things he said was, once you're out of the club or whatever, it's like the brothers disappeared and want nothing to do with you. That is absolutely false. That's absolutely false. And that's not true, because my father is a perfect example of how that's not true. So he definitely was speaking on things that he definitely should have not been speaking of.
Yeah, he was saying some pretty insane things. Like, it was like, wow.
Now, was he the one that leaked the bylaws? I think he was the one that leaked the bylaws. It was someone else. It was him, right?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that he did leak some of them out. And
and which is, and who I run with. And I just don't think that it's hard to explain. It's just common sense. It's just things you don't fucking do. You know, it's one thing to sit and chat with your brother, but to go on fucking social media and leak some fucking history, some laws, some organizational things. I mean, that's fucking.
It seemed like kind of like he was taunting his old club. He was taunting them with the
Yeah, like
video.
he was asking for it because you know what
Yeah.
you sign up for. You know, and it's funny that I left it. It's not funny, but I left a comment on his one of his videos, and then yesterday or whenever this happened, I think May 19th, he passed away,
Friday
and
morning.
Friday morning. Okay, so I had left a comment on one of his contents, and then after that, I was blocked from his content. So I guess what I had to say hit a nerve, and he fucking blocked me. So when I went to go see him and his content, you know, after I heard about the so-called accident, I went there and I was blocked, and I was like, okay.
Well, we're gonna watch some of it right now when he went on to Full Throttle, Insane Throttle. Go subscribe to Insane Throttle. And we're
Shout
gonna
out
check
to
it
Insane
out
Throttle.
right now. Shout out to Marco and
Yep,
Hollywood.
shout out to
And let's get into it.
I'm doing all right, fellas. How you doing?
One thing I want to say about Jerzey that rubbed me the wrong way is he was like, "This is gangland, and we're in a gang, and this and that." Motorcycle clubs are not a gang.
both.
That's
He was
You know,
trying
I
too
think-
hard, and
he wanted to be the gang life. He wanted to be in that gang type of life. Then go be in a
Mhm.
gang then. You know?
yeah, exactly. But he was boasting too much. That was his problem. One of them, anyways.
Let's listen to him boast.
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks, Marco, for arranging this meet and all that good stuff. Jerzey, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing on, all that good stuff.
I do security. I breed French bulldogs and ride motorcycles for the 31 MSP.
Rock on, and you're a former pagan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why are you coming on the show?
I was asked to come on to the show. Basically speak about what I say in my TikToks. You know what I mean? I don't say what has already been said on the news. I tell people my point of view, not anybody else's point of view. I'm not looking to hear what somebody else got to say about how their time was and have people agree with me. I'm telling you about what I went through as in the motorcycle world, not just as a pagan, not as a Latin king, not in prison, just my views on life. I try to give people heads up because you might come into something thinking shit is sweet, and it's nothing like that. So expect the unexpected no matter what.
The one thing I wanted to jump right out, we're going to have a picture of the bylaws here for the pagans. Supposedly, they allow cops or ex-cops or former cops inside the pagans as far as their bylaws are concerned. I just want to get right off the way. Is that true or not?
That is not in the bylaws. That is not in the bylaws. A lot of the times, even when you do a background check, certain things do not come up. And then what happens is this individual done proved who he was to the nation. And, somebody who's going to risk the rest of their life in jail and do some of the things they did, it's kind of hard to now turn them away because of their history. I could assure you nobody goes up to the pagan nation and lets them know, hey, I'm an ex-cop. And they say, all right, you're allowed in. But if you happen to slide through the cracks and then once you get in, they end up finding out, it's kind of hard to kick out a good brother after you find out that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, he was a cop. And you just watched this mother put in, some good deeds to ensure the future of the nation.
All right, let's talk about that a little bit. He's talking about ex-police officers and people who are in law enforcement being involved with the motorcycle club and the motorcycle world. Now, he's speaking on some things he really shouldn't be speaking on because he's no longer a part of that club. Once you're no longer a part of it, you shouldn't even be bringing it up. Nothing like this is no longer a part of
which is one of the reasons why I could believe that the new club that he joined kicked him out, because that's just, if you're going to do that to them, then what's to say you're not going to do that to us?
Yeah.
It just makes sense, and then he's sitting there talking about loyalty and, this club is more loyal and blah, blah, blah. You sign up for what you sign up for, man. And that's what I said in the comment. You know what you're signing up for when you sign up for it. And then when shit hits the fan, you want to go on TikTok and create a content about it. You know, this guy's 35 years old. I mean, you should really know better.
Another thing he said, he was saying that people who wear support shirts, if when you put a support shirt on, you have no clue of what comes with that. When someone comes up and rips it off your back and you get the brakes beat off you, you should know what comes with that when you put that support shirt on, he was saying.
Right. And not for nothing, but when you wear a support shirt, you have permission from, you know, some club members, you know what I'm saying? And it's to support. And of course, when you live in an area where you have your oppositions, your enemies around, you know, blocks away, towns away, and, you know, let's say they're Hells Angels, for example, 81, and you're walking around with to support your local 16, and you're in 81 territory, and they see it. Of course, you're a civilian, but you're supporting your local 16. So you're automatically signing up to get yourself involved in some trouble. Doesn't mean you're a club member. It just means you support them. And because of that, you're taking a risk. But that's not something that he needs to go on social media and talk about, because when you get a support shirt or you're allowed to wear a support shirt, that means you have permission. There's nothing else to talk about. You know, and anybody that wears a support shirt already knows that. There's no reason to go on social media and start explaining, you know, club business like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there was some tensions out here in Connecticut with two rival motorcycle clubs, and this guy walked into a bar with one of the support shirts on of the other club, and these guys, he walked right into the bar full of the other club with the shirt on. They beat him to death and threw him into a little stream next to the bar, and they only got like a couple of years each for manslaughter. It was insane. But that's the only case of something like this that I've ever heard happening until I heard him saying all this craziness.
You know why? Because things aren't supposed to be broadcasted. Some things are not supposed to be spoken about. That's why you don't hear about these things, because it's common sense that when you join these. I mean, look at law enforcement. They got a whole bunch of shit they don't tell people. You know, they go on these when things happen in the town or the city, and the mayor goes up there and starts talking on the microphone at a what do you call, media meeting or something. They don't tell us everything because it's not supposed to be broadcasted. That's just common sense.
But some people don't take heed.
Ridiculous.
To that. They think that they can just do whatever they want, you know. I was locked up with Staxx and Osborne. What's up, man? How you doing? Glad to see you.
Shout out to Roland. Shout out to Roland Reaper. Thank you for your love for my pops, Hogman. I appreciate that.
Stay
just
free.
Just too coincidental. Yeah, stay free. Who has ever not been free? It's not fun.
I was locked up with Staxx and Osborne.
Oh shit! I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
You saw the video of the crash yesterday. You did too, and I did not, and I was looking for it. I'm morbid like.
Want to see it? All right, let's watch the crash video. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let's see here. It's pretty grainy and stuff, but you can still see what it is.
I'm sure I can make it out. I'm blind as a bat, but whatever.
All right, let's see. Yeah, last night they said now there's a bunch of conspiracy theorists saying, is he in the witness protection program? Did they fake his death? I don't know if they would explode his bike into a civilian's car to fake his death, you know?
My whole thing is how important is he to the feds or to whoever for them to want to protect him? Like, what does he have? He's got to have something pretty important for the feds to be like, all right, you know what? We're going to use our resources to hide you because of what? Like, if the rumor really is true, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's see.
To tamper with and forge stuff and figure it out. So this looks like it's taken from a phone, from a security footage is what it looks like to me. What about you?
Bam! Did you see that big flash? That
Wow.
You know, it looks like it was taken from a security footage.
No, it looks like it was taken.
Looks like it's taken from a phone, from a security footage is what it looks.
The white coming in on the right, and it's a black car. See the black car taking a left?
Yeah,
there's a white. Bam!
No, this is phone footage.
It looks like it was taken from a security footage.
Yeah, but so why? How would someone
It's
have their
too
phone
shaky.
out?
It looks like somebody's holding their phone, and like, not for nothing, but this was such an accident. How is somebody just happened to be there filming in the direction of where this dude got hit? Like,
At 6:30 in the morning.
At 6:30 in the morning. Oh, let me go get my coffee and start recording in a random direction. Like, what?
Yeah, it
don't make no sense.
Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that super sticker. We had a great time this weekend, man. It was a memorable birthday weekend, and I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys, man. Shout out to Booper. Shout out to
Was it just your birthday, Bill?
Yeah, yesterday.
Happy belated birthday, my friend. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
21st. The 21st was my birthday, Sunday. I turned 44.
Nice. My son's birthday is May 20th. He just turned 15.
Oh shit! Happy birthday to your son.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Chad. I appreciate that, man.
Send my boy $5 for his birthday.
Match me. Let's go. So let's get into this because they're talking about this guy he might have been put in the Wizards protection program. There's a lot of details to this case that are insane. Let's get into it.
But to me, I don't believe in this kind of conspiracy theory, especially with the witness protection program. If that was the case, the government would be faking the death of every mobster out there. I think
they've done it before.
Well, they might have done it before, but how much of a value witness would he have been compared to an organized crime figure?
Yo, 18 people in here. Who has $5 for Staxx? Staxx needs the money.
And Kay, don't forget about me. My cash app's below. Should be, Bill.
Cash app is below. You guys can hit up the cash app. Keri's cash app right here.
There it is.
Super important. Mine's Bill Staxx 2021. Damn, no one has $5 for your boy.
You know what I mean? Let me start hearing them cha-ching sounds on my phone.
I know. Bill Staxx 2021. Be sure to donate. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch this show. Let's get back into the content.
Yeah, not even really close. I mean, he'd have some way low profile people if he were. This is all speculation, by the way. But yeah, I mean, you know, in this day and age, a lot of questions. And then I say this all the time to everybody that I'm with, bro. You can't do anything in 2023 without it being recorded somewhere. ATM, Ring doorbell. There are so many cameras on planet Earth. I don't think you can go almost anywhere without being recorded. So it doesn't surprise me that this video pops up. What surprises me about this video is a couple of things. Number one, it was sent to us anonymously. Nobody, and then that happens a lot.
Louie, man.
Just so you guys know, we get a lot of stuff anonymously that we have to try to figure out if it's real, is it not real. I did try to go back to the intersection and see if I could match it up to where they allegedly say he was.
Yeah, let's go back to the other one. We got the other interview because it's got a lot more in it with him talking. It's got a lot in it.
Yeah, I know. I watched it. He had a
detailed.
lot to say, a lot of things he shouldn't have said.
He did a lot of stuff that.
And Marco and Hollywood are on there like, oh my God.
They're shocked. Like, I know they were shocked when he was saying all this stuff. Like, he's like,
hot stuff. Yeah.
Mob Rats Exposed, man, came through with the happy birthday $6. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that.
Good for you. All right. Match that in my Cash App, buddy. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday every day.
Right.
Every day that ends in Y.
Exactly.
All right, let's see what this guy's talking about, man. Watch when he says, "This is a gang, man, gangland." Watch when he says that. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
I tell people, my point of view, not anybody else's point of view. I'm not looking to hear what somebody else got to say about how their time was and have people agree with me. I'm telling you about what I went through as in the motorcycle world, not just as a pagan, not as a Latin king, not in prison, just my views on life. I try to give people heads up because you might come into something thinking shit is sweet and it's nothing like that. So expect the unexpected no matter what.
The one thing I wanted to jump right out, we're going to have a picture of the bylaws here for the Pagans. Supposedly, they allow cops or ex-cops or former cops inside the Pagans as far as their bylaws are concerned. I just want to get right off the way. Is that true or not?
That is not in the bylaws. That is not in the bylaws. A lot of the times, even when you do a background check, certain things do not come up. And then what happens is this individual done proved who he was to the nation. And, somebody who's going to risk the rest of their life in jail and do some of the things they did, it's kind of hard to now turn them away because of their history. I could assure you nobody goes up to the pagan nation and lets them know, hey, I'm an ex-cop, and they say, all right, you're allowed it. But if you happen to slide through the cracks and then once you get in, they end up finding out, it's kind of hard to kick out a good brother after you find out that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, he was a cop, and you just watched this motherfucker put in, some good deeds to ensure the future of the nation.
Right there. He shouldn't have said that.
I do know.
Why is he talking like that?
Police or corrections officers that are there.
And you notice how he's holding on to his cut? Who else holds on to this stuff like that? What does he look like to you?
How long were you a pagan? And were you on the East Coast?
He's a cop. You know how they just rest their stuff like this? He's holding on. See, these are the things that I noticed.
Because he knows that vest is going to be gone off him right after he's done with this interview. They kick him out.
That too.
Right? If the people don't know, he was kicked out of the Dirty Ones right after this interview was
the day after, yeah.
The day after he was kicked out.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it.
East Coast, 2.5 years in North.
2.5 years East Coast, and the biggest question is going to be is why are you coming on talking about your former club? Was there some kind of beef that led you to leave, go to another club, and then come on this program? Because a lot of people are going to say, "Well, hey, wait a second, man, what's he doing on a show like this?"
Well, I said this inside my TikTok. I didn't jump clubs. What happened was I didn't like the leadership that was there. I was willing to do
that's nobody's business.
Same thing I'll do for the Dirty Ones Nation. I'm 100% loyal to where I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm loyal to a fault. So if I was told to jump off the roof, I would have did it. And, I felt like I was.
Do you hear this guy?
On a stunt dummy mission.
He's a nut. He's a nut. He was a nut job, apparently.
He said, I felt like they were sending me on a stunt dummy mission. What?
But listen, not for nothing. If he has these concerns about this club, why not take it to them? Sit down and have a conversation with them. Why the fuck are you going on national social media talking about what you like and dislike about the club that you are patched into?
Crazy. Like,
I don't understand.
When your father was around, your uncle and all these guys, would they tolerate this type of stuff? And have you seen anybody who acted like this guy?
I was thinking about that earlier too. You know, growing up in this kind of lifestyle, it's always been, and this is why I'm so old fashioned with my own, you know, my own crew, is that I like to pay homage. I like to stay old school, you know, keep it, you know, how things were meant to be in the first place. And I've never seen, I mean, you know, I'm not sure how to say this. Every group, let's just say, has their bad eggs. Every group has their, even law enforcement, you know, you got your good cop, you got your bad cop. You know, in every organization, there's something wrong with something, right? But if there is something wrong, it's got to be addressed inside, not on full throttle, not on TikTok, not with a civilian, but within your group, whoever it may be. And this is common sense for every single organization. And I keep saying law enforcement too, because they are in fact an organization. They're a gang too. They're just legal, you know? So, you know, and no, I didn't see this type of shit. And no, they definitely would have not tolerated this bullshit. Absolutely.
So when your father
it blows my mind.
When your father was in the club and you guys were going on through the years, did you see anybody get kicked out of the club? And what was, and if you have, what was that experience like? What did you see?
Well, here's just the thing about it is that when you're a civilian or even a family member of a club member, they keep their private business so private that they're almost disrespectful.
Like, you don't know what the hell's going on, right? They're not talking about shit like that.
No, like with my mother and like what you said with the Hellraiser Bowl thing. None of us females in the family knew exactly what the fuck was going on. A lot of males didn't know either because why? We're civilians. We don't know what the fuck they have planned. We don't know what the fuck is going to happen. We have no idea, you know? So my father, he was very old school. He definitely would not have tolerated no shit like this. And when I show my uncle shit like this and stuff like that, he looks at it and just shakes his head because, you know, he's aging out at this point and he's so old school. He's been dealing with it so long that he's just disappointed at this point, you know, because it's not just Jerzey here. It's not just this guy. There's guys like this in all kinds of organizations. And now that they have the opportunity to go, you know, and you could tell that this dude, right? You could tell that when I watched his TikToks before he blocked me, I noticed that he was not just boasting about his being a member of the Pagans, but he was boasting about like his body. Like he was very much a show off, you know, very cocky, like a tool bag, you know, like one of those gangsters who's got to talk like this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, like it just over the top, trying too hard. And all of his, I did a little research, you know, all of his extensive time in jail, all of his charges are 9 times or 10 times out of 10 drug related or firearm related. It has nothing to do with like putting in work for the club or, you know, anything like that. You know what I mean? It's always just stupid drug shit. So this guy is sorry to say, you know, his loved ones, I'm sure, you know, are good people or whatever. If they're not, whatever, I don't care. But this guy's a clown, man. And I said this on Marco's content. I said this on Hollywood Full Throttle. I've said it on Black Biker News. This guy is a fucking clown, period.
All right, I got I'm looking for his obituary. You know.
See that I didn't say. Shout out to Louis the Lions. Thank you very much. Positive vibes for sure.
He died in Virginia Beach on May 19th. His bike exploded too.
That's insane. I mean, not for nothing. Because the bike exploded, was he on the bike or was he already like hit and off the bike when it exploded?
No,
that's what I want to know. Like
right when he hit the car, the bike exploded. Poof.
Okay, so he definitely was on the motorcycle. And so do we know if they actually found the body there intact or was it like dismembered?
They found him dead in the road. He was dead on arrival. That's what these reports say. Richmond, VA.
Okay.
Authorities have released the name of the man killed in motorcycle crash on Richmond's south side Friday morning. So another
On Wall Street.
suspicious thing is someone was saying that he worked as a bouncer. Thursday night, he would have worked until 3 a.m. There's no reason he would have been out at 6 a.m. No reason.
Yeah, so he may have gotten a phone call. Yeah, he may have gotten some kind of phone call where he needed to leave, and a car miraculously just happened to stop in front of him.
Now, it should be a fatal accident. It's always the state police. It does not matter. If it's a fatal accident, the state police get involved. Now it says Richmond police were called to the 5500 block of Hall Street Road for a report of a crash between a sedan and a motorcycle at 6:45 a.m. Officials said when officers arrived,
a couple of points here.
They found a motorcycle driver, 35 years old, Daniel Hubin of Chesterfield, down and unresponsive. Hubin was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the sedan remained at the scene. Investigators determined the collision occurred in the westbound lanes of Hall Street Road. Police said the RPD crash team conducted interviews, took measurements, and are still investigating circumstances in a fatal crash. At this time, no charges have been filed. Now,
what I was just going to say too is that this is from localaccidentalreports.com. They said that that the incident is still being investigated. So the lady was an adult female, okay, and it was a sedan. Now, why that accident happened that way, it looked as if maybe she was supposed to stop and did not, and decided to stay still in the middle of the road while a motorcycle was coming at her. So
we're going to go to the intersection. Let's go to the intersection. I got the maps.
My thing is, though, is like, how did it get released so quickly and with so little? Like, there was no detail to the report other than what you just read. And that basically is in every other article on social media.
All right, ready for this? Boom. Here is where the car was coming out here, allegedly, right? Pulling out here, and bam, this is where he crashed. Right there. Here's the street view. You can see all the debris in the road. See it? This is where the
I don't. I only see his. I only see your background. I don't see the crash.
Oh, you can't? Hold on.
No. There we go.
Oh yeah. See the street?
Yeah.
I'd imagine this is where he was pulling out. This is where it says it happened. Right here. See all that stuff in the road?
Yeah, so it looked like he was coming. It looked like he was coming from that way.
Boom. Maybe hit
I'm
right
not really
here.
sure, actually.
I don't know. This is where they say it happened.
It was right at it was right at an intersect. It was right there. Yeah, it happened right there at that cross street, I think, because it looked like they were at some kind of intersection. I don't remember seeing that. I don't know where that person was that was filming that either. It could have been a gas station. I don't know.
Oh, this looks like an intersection right here. Boom. But
Yeah,
I don't see any marks on the ground. I don't see no skid marks. But I mean,
well,
this
you know,
Google Street could be older, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, because that's, you know, this might be some older footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here, let's go over that video again. We'll go over that video again with the car, with the crash. And
okay.
Look at that. Yo, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that super chat, bro. $2, Louis the Lion. Much love.
Oh, look at your fans. That's
Louis the
awesome.
Lion. Thank you, man. If you can't donate
Shout
towards
out to
Keri,
Louis.
she could get
Yeah,
some
don't
new.
forget about me
Yeah,
now.
she got her house. Congratulations, Keri, on the house. I'm very
Yes.
happy for you.
Thank you very much. It's been quite the journey.
You deserve it, though. You've been through a lot of shit, and you deserve a fresh
Thank you.
start. And
Thank you. And while I'm here, while I have your guests on here, I plan on starting my own YouTube channel that Bill's going to help me out with. And that'll be up shortly.
yeah, very soon. We'll have it ready.
Keep a
It'll
lookout.
probably be running by the end of this week. Everything will be ready to go.
Definitely. Yep. Keep a lookout.
What's the speed light there? 50. Oh, speed limit here? Speed limit here is the speed limit where the guy got killed? I don't know. Let's check.
And not for nothing, when you're cocky like that and you're riding a motorcycle, it's like,
you can't.
You
Cars
think
will destroy you. Like,
yes, they absolutely will destroy you. And he probably just doesn't. He probably was one of those like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. If it was actually an accident.
oh shit! Is this burnt up shit on the ground? No, that's not burnt up.
Look at you.
Like, oh
He
shit! I
just
saw a
is-
fucking burnt up wheel. I saw a sock. There's a sock on the ground. I don't know if that's from him. You tell me. What do you see here?
Thank you, Louis the Lion. I appreciate that. Listen, your support is more than any money I could receive on a Cash App. Trust me when I tell you. Keep out for my YouTube.
This looks like the intersection, doesn't it?
It does, but I don't
See
know.
the police tape right
Yeah,
here?
more details are going to be coming out eventually, but as time goes by.
They did see what's this mark right on the road?
That's got to be old footage. Come on now, Bill.
Yeah, it has to be. All right, let's try to check out that motorcycle crash again. Maureen, how are you? Appreciate you coming and checking out my show. Yeah, I'll be coming out there to visit you very soon.
Yes, we need to have you here so you can come check out Long Island. And we ain't talking the Hamptons.
Oh, where the hell?
I'm surprised our friend Stacy's not on today.
I know she'll probably be on eventually.
Yeah.
She's fixing something.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, my boyfriend's putting my son's dresser together.
Oh.
Hey, Down Neck Newark, what's up, man? Yes, he sent me this from August 2022. He told you it was old.
All right, let's see here. All right, let's see. Here's him talking more shit. I'm trying to find the crash and I can't find it.
Didn't really think anything about him. Finally, when I spoke to him, everything was cleared away. You know what I mean? He's a very respectful person. I respect his gangster. I don't take anything from him. There's so much that happens with these colors behind closed doors that nobody ever talks about. You know what I mean? You get motherfuckers that are in love with their females. Female talks about
because you're not supposed to talk about it.
Time told him shit and talked about the nation behind closed doors. So what he did, you know what I mean? He did what he did, and he did what he felt. You know, at the time, he was acting out of anger towards whatever situation. So.
Yeah. Well, you also, like I said, you back it up with at least video or firsthand knowledge. You were talking about, I don't know if it was an ex-president, but the guy that went to jail for 75 years doing what he was doing. And can you talk a little bit about that situation?
So I can only talk about the things I know. I know the man personally. I never liked him, never got along with him. But You know, he would set you up, man. He was a piece of shit. And, you know, again, the things that happen in one state don't reflect
Hi,
on what's going on.
Maureen. Thank you, Louie. I appreciate that
That's one
positivity.
individual out of 1,500 individuals. You know what I mean? So he wasn't necessarily the nicest person. He was a piece of shit. He did a lot of grimy things. A lot of brothers got hurt. A lot of brothers got kicked out bad. And a lot of people died. You know what I mean? So him getting to 75 years, in my eyes, is a cakewalk. Because you can still come back on an appeal. I personally wish he would have got shot in the back of his head and dumped in a cornfield somewhere.
What?
That's neither here nor there.
What? Did
Right.
you hear?
Well, you know, a big question before we get more into that.
Oh, this fucking guy, man.
We gotta rewind that.
What?
Hold on.
Down.
What?
A cornfield somewhere, but you know, him getting to 75
Listen
years.
to this. Let me tell you. Let me explain something to you real quick. He's out on federal bond, talking like this. Now he's out on bond for some serious charges. He's labeled as a menace to society on Pacer. So now he's talking like this, out on bond.
In my eyes, is a cakewalk because you can still come back on an appeal. I personally wish he would have got shot in the back of his head and dumped in a cornfield.
What?
That's neither here nor there.
Right. Well, you know, a big question before we get more into that. I want everybody to understand I have no sides in this, but what I do know is the Pagans on the East Coast were at one time one of the premier 1%er clubs in the United States. They go back to 1959. And of course, we don't have anybody from their side on the show to give any responses. If you wanted to reach out to us, you could to give a response. But there's been a lot of stuff out there in the club scene about a blue wave. And when you said that.
What? Can you hear me, Keri?
No. What'd you say?
What did you say?
No, when he said something about reaching out, I was being a smart ass. Well, I got a response, Marco.
I know you get responses all the time. Go check out Keri's TikTok.
Yeah, man.
You guys haven't checked out her content. She got some great content. She explains a lot of stuff that's been going on throughout the years.
At the clubs being ran into the ground. What is the understanding of what's going on with the blue wave? And is it true that people are just being, you know, let's put it to rest, is people being sold patches, start chapters, all that good stuff?
I mean, a few people on this panel right now were part of clubs. So you know what it is. Even if you prospect, you still pay for your patches. Even if you prospect, you still pay for your patches. There are times, and just like
pause this for a second.
Inside this.
Okay.
What did he say? He said, even when you get patched in, you still pay for it. Is that what he just said?
Even when you prospect, you still pay for your patches.
Doesn't that's not information. Like, you completely on here. You know what, Bill? I wish that I could say really wanted to say so fucking bad, but I don't want to ban you from live. So I'm going to all of this. It's just ridiculous. It's just
I mean, Hollywood said it best. He said, people who put out this type of energy, karma comes back. And look what happened to him. He died. Friday, he died. He's gone. So if that is true,
yeah, what do you want to
with the information that he's
the rumor is, yes.
You never know. You really never know.
Mm-hmm. I said this as soon as I seen this interview. My told me about this interview. Nobody said, "Hey, Keri, go check this out." I seen this. It came across my eyes. Nature brought it to my attention, and as soon as I seen it, you know, my triggers were on, man. I was just like this. Like, are you kidding? Clown emojis. I knew right off the gate in the back of my mind that he was going to wind up going into hiding or get accident.
Hey,
So, whatever.
and there's a lot of suspects.
Oh.
It looks like he made a lot of friends along the way. Let's check it out. What else he got to say?
Yeah.
There was 2 interviews, I believe, they have with him. 2. So we got a lot of stuff to go over.
Inside the TikTok is that if you're coming from another club and you know you got that history, you got that reputation, and you're opening up a chapter in a state that doesn't have it, it's very hard to prospect that person. You're talking about you got to travel 6 hours away, 7 hours away. I mean, you're talking about when Texas was being opened up and New York was allowing it, or whatever, New York was allowing it to happen. That's a 26-hour ride? That's pretty hard to do every day as a prospect to come to an event. So you got to take your, you got to use common sense.
So let me cut you there when you say it's hard to prospect. I know a lot of the other major clubs, they go through a prospective period of at least 6 months to a year where they got to achieve different goals before they're even allowed a patch. And I think that's where a lot of people are confused about that.
No, I do mine the same way. I feel like you have to make 2 out-of-town trips in order to even, you know what I mean? But again, out of experience, a lot of those guys did come out of town. They did stand in the circle. They did do their thing. You know what I mean? Where they 100% prospects, where it's like, yo, go get this, go set that up. No, that didn't happen. People bought patches as far as, you know what I mean? They didn't have to prospect. They got their patches.
You said you had paperwork on some people inside the club that ratted you out.
No. I never said that ratted me out. I said I have paperwork on people in the club that were ratted. You know what I mean?
Ratted, right.
Yeah, there's a whole, but again, the people I talk about are no longer in the club. You know what I mean? So however they handled it, whether they're in jail and they just cut them off because they seen the paperwork as well. I have paperwork on pagans or ex-pagan members that ratted. You know what I mean? I personally was ratted on by 2 people, but they didn't do it on paperwork. What they did was they took a picture of me holding things I shouldn't be holding and posted it on Instagram.
Okay. So right there. They took a picture of me holding things I'm not supposed to be holding, and they posted it on Instagram. Now, whose fault is that? That's your goddamn fault, man.
Maybe you should have been holding it in front of the people you were in front of.
Maybe you should grow a brain and use it.
And you know, it's funny because after that he says something about using common sense. Well, you need to practice what you preach, brother, because is not in his vocabulary.
Is not very common nowadays. I've noticed that. Common sense.
It definitely isn't. Common sense went out the window a long time ago. I'd say 2015.
Now they did that, but do I call them a rat because I don't have no paperwork? I can't call them a rat. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but there was proof of the picture.
Yeah, I know who ratted on me. The mother posted me on Instagram.
Right.
You know what I mean?
My question goes back, Marco, because Jerzey just said that a lot of this miscommunication, a lot of this stuff that people are hearing are coming from people that are out of the club. They left the club out bad. And what would you say to those people that say, well, you're doing the same thing?
Again, I talk about my personal experience. I don't talk about the nation in a whole. I do not like
but he does though.
That I do not like a large portion of the pagans. But there are still pagans that I love, that I hold dearly, like Connorelli. You know what I mean? A few other members, I'm not going to name them, but that one everybody knows I'm very close to. I haven't spoke to him in a long time, but that person I got love for. People can say what they want. They're not the ones living this lifestyle. So it's pretty hard for a lot of these people to be like, yo, you know, that's ratting or whatever the case may be. But those are the same people that as soon as they have a problem, they call the police. You
Down
what I
next
mean?
says, Keri,
Yeah.
is that how
They call
bikers
police.
talk now?
So you can't really have people like
No.
that
Some
of them,
trying to
yeah.
judge or
Some of them
cloud your
do.
thoughts on it.
That's not
A lot
how
of
they're
people ain't
supposed to
living
talk
this
now. But a lot of
Jersey, are
these
you
35
the ones that you're still close with?
young
Have they said
punks
anything like, "Hey,
that
bro,
were
you gotta
running
calm
around as
down"?
kids wanting to be a biker so bad grew up without the proper guidance.
I think they were running
This is
around
the
wanting to
fuck
be
happened.
gang members, and then they went off
Yes.
into the motorcycle life, and they brought that style with them, kind of, right?
Yeah, they were wannabes growing up until they got old enough and found the right connection to get themselves involved, didn't realize what the fuck they were truly signing up for, and decided to just fucking go at their own pace. You can't do that. You just
Wild.
can't. Thank you,
This or
Louis.
hey,
No.
man.
A whole bunch of them were just like, yo, I think what you're doing is right. Again, somebody called me today. He wasn't a pagan, but he was like, yo, you're the voice for the people. Because what I'm doing is I'm not telling anybody to stay away from the motorcycle world. Right now, this is what's popping. The problem is this ain't a fucking way of life just for anybody. Don't get into this thinking that it's going to be a cakewalk, because it's not. In this life right here, you can't necessarily pay your way through. Eventually, there's going to be a time where that money that you're giving to another member that's not sending you on missions, you're going to have your colors on. And you're going to get ran down on by somebody in a restaurant, at your son's school, or at your job, where people are going to pull up on you. And that money that you're paying to stay out of trouble and you're giving to other members so they don't send you on missions and shit, man, you're gonna get called out on your shit.
What?
And it's gonna happen. So this isn't the life for everybody, man. You know what I mean? This is a beautiful life. It is what you make of it. But as soon as you slip, man, you get caught slipping. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. So of kind of what's going on in the world now, where it seems, back in the day, man, if you got pulled up on 2 or 3 guys, you're on the side of the road, you throw hands, whatever, you got your ass kicked, you didn't. Now it seems that guns are first. You're on the scene right there on the front lines. Have you noticed this? And what are your thoughts on people pulling guns right out?
There's only a few clubs that have been known for. Listen, there's a lot of talks that happen behind the scenes before these things get drawn. All right? There's a lot of things that could have been avoided that haven't been avoided. People do things and they just don't think a motherfucker can do it. This is the reason why I say
There's a lot of things that could have been avoided for sure.
A lot of the clubs. There
Like
might
your
be individual
accident.
chapters and sets that suck.
Probably. Shit. It's crazy.
Bill.
Listen to this.
He's contradicting himself. He's contradicting himself on everything he fucking says. First of all, things that he is talking about involving the club has been going on for fucking since 59.
Yeah, since it was ever created.
I mean, this isn't something new. This is just something, and yes, somebody said, what did they say? The bikers I've seen and heard never talk like that. You want to know why? Because they don't go on social media. And if you're a civilian, they're not going to talk about club business with you. That's why.
He was a pagan.
Apparently, you could sit down with this guy and fucking, he'll tell all.
Yeah, he was a pagan, and then he went over to the Dirty Ones MC. I don't know what happened if he got kicked out.
He was a pagan, and he's claiming. Now, let me explain something, right? I'm Grave Street, okay? And when you're a part of a crew, there might be branches that fall underneath that crew that separate into other crews underneath that one, okay? Now, I'm 112. I used to be 103rd. And I had to leave 103rd for personal reasons, which not like him, I'm going to sit here and fucking talk about, because I say that to say this. It's not anybody's fucking business why I left that set. Whatever happened between me and whoever in that set, and the reason why I left is a reason that I confronted them with. We talked about it, whether it was good terms or bad terms, I left. And if for what reasons, none of nobody's business. That's not Grape Street. You know what I'm saying? So when I joined 112, I joined under somebody that I have known for 10 years. You know what I mean? And I felt comfortable with them. But again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about who it was. I'm not dropping names. I'm not going to talk about the reasons why I left my old. That's not anything to talk about. And he just comes on here, oh, I didn't like the chip. I didn't know. Now, what if somebody's watching this that knows who is running the chapter of whom he's talking about and don't share the same opinion? That's just things that you talk about inside with each other at a sit down or at somebody's house or a get together between the brothers. Nobody else, especially Full Throttle or fucking Marco.
I know this dude says, dude
Or
was
anybody.
a Latin king and then a pagan for 2 years. And then he was a Dirty Ones, but he got kicked out of the Dirty Ones right after that interview. And he was saying the worst thing that you can do with your cut, because they were saying, oh, this guy did this to his cut. That's the worst thing you could do. He said, no, the worst thing you could do is lose him. And he lost them right after.
Yeah, well,
day after.
The thing is about your cut, what I know to be true from when I was a little girl is that there's order. There's order of priority. Family is not even first priority to the club. The club's first priority is their colors and their fucking bike. You know what I mean? And neither one of those can get lost, ruined, or destroyed or taken. You know what I mean? And losing your cut is definitely something that's a no-no. But
have you ever seen growing up? Have you ever seen someone lose their cut?
I have seen my father take somebody's cut from a different club. I've never seen a pagan get their cut taken. But my dad actually took somebody's cut and hung it upside down on the wall of our house.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
very wild.
Back in the day, they used to do that. That would be like their flag they're grabbing, right? They put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And now they tattoo it on their backs and shit, man. They put their whole fucking thing right on their backs. Can't take that off.
No. And then if someone leaves the club, they got to get all their ink covered, everything. Have you ever seen that happen?
That's how it used to be. I've never seen that personally, but I've heard of that happening. Yeah, I can recall a couple instances where I've heard my father speak about shit like that. Yeah.
I heard they give you a couple different ways that they can get it off of you, right? Because they own
that is actual fact.
Some people don't understand that they own that patch. They own that logo.
Yes. First of all, you get permission to put that on your body. First of all, you got to be somebody to get inked up that way. And if you lose it, you must have done something really bad, and you already know in which way would you like it removed, sir? Let me know.
Joe, what's up? How are you? You have to be white and European background. Not anymore.
Yeah, so
that.
let me expand on that a little bit. So it's funny because I watched a February 2023 interview with Ken Croak. And so my whole point is, at least here where I'm from, is that he didn't do anything good. He actually made it worse. And here's why I say this. Because he made it so that they got so angry that they said, fuck it. You're Mexican, you're MS-13, let's go. Fuck it. You're Puerto Rican, you're Colombian, you're Dominican, let's go. Will they move up in ranking in the club? Probably not. They're going to stay foot soldiers. But that's how angry that he poked the bear. So having a white European background is something that white supremacist groups follow, and not all clubs are part of white supremacists, because the white supremacists took out my dad's fucking eye. They're two different types of clubs. One has nothing to do with the other one. You know, just because there's more of a white crowd in a biker gang than, I mean, hey, look at the Thunder Guards. The Thunder Guards are now 1%ers, and they are nothing but a all black club, and they are literally everywhere. Now they are a supporter of the Pagans, so they support their local but they are passionate members, and they are an all-black motorcycle 1%er club. So having that white European background, that's so old school, it's not followed. It's not. I mean, I haven't seen a black member in a Pagans yet, but I'm not going to say it's not possible.
I've seen pictures of black Hells Angels and Chinese and all different races.
Mm-hmm. Hawaiian, Samoan. Yeah.
I have seen it. Yes. They're all over the internet. Mm-hmm. Go on Instagram. You can find all of this stuff.
Oh, okay. And so down neck, I think what he meant about a biker speaking that way, right? He was speaking with a very urban, ethnic, yo, I'm from the hood type thing, right? So let me explain that a little bit. Let me expand on that. So like, okay, my uncle is turning 70 years old soon. My father passed away. You got all these old men that follow old protocol and live a certain way. And they're all like, oh, turn that hip hop shit down, blah, blah, blah. Then you have these members like this guy, Jerzey, who is a newer millennial type kid who is in a different era. And somebody made a comment on one of my contents on TikTok saying, I'm going to tag you because I've noticed that a lot of Hells Angels are riding around listening to hip hop, trap music, and so he did. He tagged me in some videos. And my personal explanation and my personal opinion with that is you got these new kids that find it very fashionable to be either Crip. Nobody wants to be Blood no more, so forget that. Everybody wants to be Crip now. And everybody wants to be either a Hells Angel, a Mongol, or a fucking Diablo, or a fucking Pagan. It's like the new fad. It's a new fashion to be a biker. And a lot of these kids, these white kids, Spanish kids, whatever, are joining and being patched in, have new idolizations. So they're not gonna be riding around listening to fucking Led Zeppelin talk about that's gnarly, dude. I mean, it's just not that way anymore. So it's unfortunate. And I don't think anybody's music choice should have any bearing on their character or even the way that they talk. But I do understand what you're saying, Louis.
I'm trying to see if I can find this interview.
Are Mongols enemies of Pagans?
Oh, yeah.
Are they, Uncle Tommy?
Arch rivals.
Mongols are enemies of Pagans, right? Oh, they're not.
The Hells Angels. No, the Hells Angels and the Mongols are arch rivals.
The Hells Angels and the Mongols are. Yes. Yeah. So the Mongols and the Pagans don't have any beef.
I got a story right here. Insane, exclusive, right here, only on Chattin with Staxx. Peep this.
Okay.
I had this one weird situation of Sonny Barger, the Hells Angel guy.
Yeah.
There was some black dude in prison that was like claiming like he was white, but his name was Sonny Barger, and he said his dad was the head of the Hells Angels, and the blacks wanted us to do something to him and do that straight, like KKK shit tattooed on him. He was black as fuck. You know what I mean? Right. He was fucking acting like he was white. So the blacks came jam me up. You know what I mean? Like, you're fucking people. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what he has on. You know what I mean? You clean up your own weirdos. You know what I mean?
Wait, so it was a black dude.
It was a black dude.
And he was pretending to be white.
White supremacist tattoos on him. And he said his dad was Sonny Barger. One like Hell's Angel dude. You know what I mean?
He was half black, half white.
And his name was Sonny Barger too. He tried to get me on the phone like, here, Simon, my dad's fucking Sonny Barger.
Oh, he's trying to have him vouch and everything on the phone.
Yeah. Everybody was tripping on him because he had a Klansman's on him and swastika. He was black as shit, you know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, so the fucking blacks wanted him off the yard, you know what I mean? Because they're like, fuck that. And I'm like, that's your people, you know what I mean? It's because he has that shit tattooed on him. I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean?
So what ended up happening with him?
They smashed him out and sent him on down the road. You know what I mean?
Wow, man, that's a pretty wild situation to be in.
Yeah. Like, it ain't my people.
Can you imagine? Like, what are the chances?
Yeah, well, you
I
know,
mean,
when you're mixed,
was
you
it
can
really
get away with
his
being more one race than the
dad?
other. You
I don't
know,
fucking know, dog.
that does happen.
Crazy, right?
That does happen when you're a mixed race. There's a lot of black. Okay, so for instance, Sons of Anarchy, Happy. No, not Happy. The other one that commits suicide on the tray. Forgot his name.
Damn, don't say that word. Don't say that word.
Oh, unalive. I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm sorry. Oh no. Can you take it off?
No. Once you say it, it's done.
Damn.
It's done.
All right. Well, it's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that dude. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, so he found out his father was a real
member. He's a real member. His father's half black. He was a member, full patch member. I got pictures right here. Right here.
Yeah.
Guy on the right. He has a full patch on. The guy on the right. That's a full patch. Hell's Angels.
Wait, so from what club though?
The Hell's Angels. Look at his patches. It's his filthy few right on his shoulder. See the eagle right on the right shoulder, on his left shoulder?
Yeah, I'm blind. Oh, I guess.
There's a death head right there on his shoulder, right here. Look on his shoulder, right here. Boom. See the death head?
Yeah. So, you know.
Right here?
Well,
it says filthy feud right here. See it? Boom. See it?
Yeah. Yeah. I see it now.
Yeah. So, I mean,
well,
it is what it is. They accept people.
I mean, you have law enforcement that's Hell's Angel. I mean, Hell's Angels don't care.
Have law enforcement that are in a lot of clubs because a lot of clubs got people that were ex-military. They came back from the war and they got involved with these clubs. So, like, obviously, there's gonna be some ex-law enforcement, but this guy Jerzey was treating it kind of like it was a gang. Like he wanted it to be a gang. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He was a clown, and you know, whether it's karma or whatever, he knew who he was. Look at his eyes. You could see in this picture right there that something just was not right with this guy. You know, and look at his eyes, glassy. What is he smoking? Fucking meth?
He was only 36 years old.
35, I heard.
35. Yeah, 35, 36 years old. A young kid. It's insane.
Yeah, Nasty Nick. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He was a
Demon's Row.
He was a prior pagan, and he turned Dirty Ones, and then Dirty Ones kicked him out the day after that interview with Marco.
Yes, he is dead. He died on Friday in a motorcycle accident. Car pulled out in front of him. Boom! Motorcycle exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Rewind this
he
video.
Did talk too much.
I showed the video of the motorcycle crash earlier in this video. But I got a bunch of stuff to do, Keri. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. And if you got time later on tonight, we'll chop it up and maybe we'll give away some we'll do a giveaway tonight. I got a special gift
sounds
for you
fun.
guys. Yeah, I got a special gift for my listeners for being so great to me. I got something I'm going to give back to you guys. So,
awesome.
If you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. And remember, don't be a bitch. Thanks, Keri.
All right, Bill. See you later, buddy.